This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me.
You're blonde hair there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Only Friends podcast. As you heard in the intro, she's learning the ways of the live podcasting world as she takes over Conrad Simpson's job forever. Welcome, Nikki Limo.
Hello, I'm Conrad Simpson. That's me. Brian made me wear these glasses, but they make me itchy, so I'm taking them off.
That's okay.
That's not the only thing they make you. I have to tell you.
I said they look better on you than they do on me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Now you're putting them back on. You gotta please the people.
We gotta see the world through his eyes.
Would you ever wear those out in the real world?
These?
Yeah.
Well, let me look at myself then. No.
If by better on you,
what if
he
it was like
means-
10 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
10 years ago, we used to have like there were small glasses were in style, you know, small. And then Paris Hilton, maybe that was more than 10 years ago.
This was like 15 years ago I had those.
Yeah, these were like 15 years ago when I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you weren't even like almost born yet. You were pretty young.
Very
You're
young.
like my age.
Super young.
Yep.
Even younger.
Yeah, younger than me.
I was older than you, I think. Anyway, moving on. Is that how we start a podcast?
Yeah, we always start a
streets?
podcast with like just some random ass shit.
We're just coming here to expose your age to the world.
Thank
and
you.
that's it.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I'm
welcome.
I'm going now. Going home.
Yep.
We gotta wave to the audience.
Been nice.
Nikki Limo, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have to do the classic like, "Hi, mom."
I know it's weird because like that camera is on a different delay and
That's the confidence camera.
We're here to confuse
it's
you.
not very confidence inducing.
Yeah. You know, confidence is hard to come by these days.
Yeah. No, this is a very professional production. I think I'm just not used to the level of professionalism. I'm used to like slumming it in a room in someone's house, someone's basement.
Says someone that had 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
That is a flex for us, you know? That's how we do things right around
I'm in the real YouTube
here.
streets.
Yeah. YouTube is clearly you just like kind of start from your basement.
Yeah, with an iPhone.
Yeah.
You'd be a person of the people. I was going to say a lady of the people, but you guys aren't. Oh my gosh, that's me.
Don't you guys have a set? Is this not in your house?
It is.
Oh my gosh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
This is my
looks
house.
really professional.
Thank you. We have these lights. We have like some lights. We have some cameras.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near this level where it's like live.
Well, I mean, there's like 87 of us.
Imagine like reading comments live. Oh, it's so fear-inducing.
That's literally why Melissa left. She would keep the comments up in real time.
Please don't show me comments.
And like anytime anyone had a complaint, it derailed the entire show. She's like, guys, they don't like that we're talking about sports right now.
Yeah, I mean that's hard in the beginning for sure. After 12 years of being a full-time YouTuber, you get really used to not reading the comment section for your own.
I'm sure it gets
mental
to a
health.
point too, like you've just sort of seen it all, you know? You've seen all the hate that the internet has to offer.
It evolves. Like they're good. Like once you get used to a certain type of hate, like I got really used to
They pump up the pain.
Oh yeah, they like know how to get you. Like in the beginning, it was like tits are get the fuck off, and I'm like, all right, like here's my tit.
Now it's evolved into.
Now it's like, is she pregnant? Like she's got a baby bump, and it's like, no, I'm fucking not. Actually, I absolutely am not.
They're just trying to help you get gains, though. We talked about how you get gains.
They're like, she talks too much. She's making it about herself. I'm like, oh my god, I'm never talking again.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, you're a podcast host.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, how do I host this without talking? I want them to like me. Please like me.
I think that's the real key of it all, is like having that lack of necessary approval. Where it's like you just can't force people to like you. And if they hate you, they're going to hate you anyways.
Yeah.
It's not like you can really turn anybody.
Life lessons.
Yeah, people want to see you fail. They're going to try to see you fail. They want
It's
to see
just
you
like,
succeed.
you know, most people in society, like they'll hate you in secret, but commenters are just like, nah, we hate you. Like, straight up. Straight up, we hate you.
There's a screen, you know, they're protected by the internet, you know? It's never like they're actually going to see you, because when they do see you, they're going to be like, oh my God, is that Nikki Limousine? I'm your biggest fan.
Oh my God. That was you
That
this
was
morning.
me. Yeah.
Are you commenting?
I'm commenting, yeah.
One.
I'm one of the commenters that says, man, is she pregnant?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, hey, try it. Comment section. Please don't try it. I'm not pregnant.
To to catch everybody up who's not familiar with your body of work, why don't you walk us through the timeline that's got
But you're
you
just
to
gonna
the
stop
point.
at body.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Who are you? Yeah.
Talked a lot about my body today so far. I don't know. Every day I'm like, oh, why do I exist? Is there a task for me to do? And then I answer the calls of the wind, and then I ended up here. So that's my life in short. But no, I started a long time ago, before Landon was born.
You mean like
probably.
5 years ago when you were 21?
Yes, yeah. I started when I was a kid, actually. I wanted to be an actor, and my grandma was a professional extra. Like, she was like,
That's a thing?
yeah, like she had a SAG card and everything,
okay.
and she would every day she would like walk in the background of shows. Sometimes like she'd become a regular extra on some shows.
Sure.
She really liked it because she could be a different person all the time, and I think I have a little bit of her, where it's just like fun to try on new clothes of like, oh, how does this person live, you know? And so when I said I wanted to be an actor, I was 8, and she immediately like got me headshots and started acting. I was like in the movie The Pest with John Leguizamo, like in the background as a school kid. I'm only looking at Matt because I'm like, okay, that's an era he might recognize.
I know
that
John
movie.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
I do not know the movie.
I'm not gonna
though.
I'm right there
Landon.
with you.
No. You're not going to get any sort of affirmations from me there, no.
No, yeah.
Gotta know your audience.
Okay, I'm gonna keep looking
Yeah.
at Matt.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, and I want to be a model. And then immediately, one of our family friends hooked us up with like this modeling manager.
Agency?
And yeah, I started like modeling I was in like an IBM ad right away. And like I was in like some brochures for affirmative action or so. I don't know. I was in like random shit, like the most random fucking jobs. But I was like, I'm doing it. I was in a Land's End catalog.
You're in the obscure modeling category.
Yeah, like obscure. Totally. Do you know that I am on all the bags of cat food in the Latin market and on the Purina brand of cat food?
Are you serious?
Yeah, like that
Like
was
to this day?
I don't know if still. That was a job in 2011, but they don't really change the packaging that too often.
This is
Right.
one of the most odd
I'm
flexes
pretty
I've
sure.
ever heard.
I know.
But
No,
I like it.
I have a really odd life. Like a really strange life.
Yeah, now you're here.
Like randomly people will be like, I saw you on a billboard for cat food in Buenos Aires.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I'm also in a bunch of like ADD medication ads for Vivance in like medical journals.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I look like I have.
You play the
ADD.
part pretty well, yeah.
I do have ADD.
And so then obviously the natural transition from all of this was YouTube.
Yeah, totally. And then immediately I was on YouTube. No, yeah. So I did stand-up comedy in Santa Barbara. Okay, so yeah, that was when I was a kid, and then I jumped ahead a few years. I thought that I wasn't going to be an actor or a model after my manager died. So it's like, take it to a dark place. My manager died, and then my photographer died, and basically everyone I was associated with died at that time. And so I went back to just like school, and I was like, okay, I'm 18 now. I'm like way too old to be an actor or a model because
Your life dies after 18.
yeah,
right?
and like all the kids that I was like acting with, they all like had shows and
Oh,
did
like they actually made
yeah,
it.
they did stuff, and
Yeah.
they continued acting. So I was like, okay, I got to give that up. And so I went to college for a little bit, and I started doing stand-up.
Oh my
wow,
God,
they
he
found a
found
picture.
Yes, look at that.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay, go for it.
What's the cat's name?
That cat is a crack cocaine model. Like that cat, they made it look like it was interested in me. Really, it's looking beyond at this spoonful of crack food, and it cannot wait to eat that crack food. And it's just like, I have never seen a cat that was dead behind its eyes. Like it was like a real life human model, but a cat form.
It's
of it.
locked in. Look at him.
It's locked in.
He's
She's looking at that cat food, and you're not allowed to make noises around it. I'm a cat person, by the way. I have 4 cats, and I've worked with kittenrescue.org. I'm like a huge cat person. I've never met a cat like that. For the audition, we had to hold the cat while answering questions.
What was the cat's name?
I don't know. This is not a real cat. This is like
This cat is not
this
of
is
the
an
earth.
AI cat. This is, I'm scared of the future of cats after reading that cat.
If you were to give that cat a name, what would you give it?
Chloe.
I like that.
Chloe.
I don't know why.
Right
It
on
seems
Kar-
like a model
After the
name.
Kardashian?
No, with a C.
Very important to be with.
Yeah.
The C.
There's got to have 2 dots above the E.
Chloe.
Yeah.
Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe. Yeah, she seems just like a model that was way too good for me. She's like, I'm not here to be with this peasant. I
That's how
demand
cats
to be
are
back
as a
in my
whole.
trailer. No, not my cats.
Wow.
They're good babies.
How old are they?
The oldest one is turning 16 this year. I'm going to buy him a car. He doesn't know yet. Don't tell him.
Wow, he's going to drive before me.
Do you not drive? Is that a poker player thing?
No, it's
No.
just a me
No,
thing.
It's a Zoomer
There's
generation
a lot
thing.
of poker players I know that have not gotten their license.
Wait, who? Shame
I don't
them.
want to. I don't
Yeah,
want to
shame
out
them.
anyone.
Shame
No,
them.
That's what
No.
this podcast is for.
I will not out Chris Moorman.
I mean, to be fair, he's a Brit.
Yeah,
It's annoying.
True. I thought it was just a British thing. Like,
Like,
oh
the
yeah,
British people not drive?
they're
Well,
scared to drive on this side of the road, the right side of the road.
I had to do that, so I had to drive on the opposite side of the road when we were in the Bahamas.
Yeah, the wrong side of the
Yeah,
road.
the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was, very strange at the beginning, and then I thought, like, I was there for so long. I was like, when I get back to America, am I gonna like forget how to drive and be on the wrong side of the road? But no, I came back.
That's how I felt after playing Grand Theft Auto. I just wanted to run all the
Just
red
crash
lights,
everything, and
run over hookers, take their money.
Jesus. You're in the right city.
Yeah, right. That's why I moved here.
Right,
to
you're just
fulfill my
living the,
dreams.
Sure.
you're living the IRL GTA.
Yes, playing GTO
Yep.
as well.
Now you came
Playing
on the
GTA
podcast.
GTO.
Yep. Now you're on the OFP.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Welcome.
Your generation has so many acronyms.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
They're so lazy. They're so lazy and they're so soft. I
Deaf.
can't take it.
Deaf.
It's really, it's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
these days, you know?
It's a whole culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of canceling in that culture too.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Have you guys got canceled?
No.
Not yet.
I'm
That's good.
trying. It's not going as
Give it
well
a
as I had
harder.
hoped.
This
hard.
is an IRL. This is Nikki in real life.
Yeah.
Get on the car.
I actually had a format called Nikki in real life.
I was gonna say
Merle.
I did my research yesterday,
had
and
a
that
what
was
now?
too thorough, Matt.
that
I'm
was one of
scared.
your vlogs, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
is, yeah. It was like, well, so when everything was on my main channel, I used to post videos 5 days a week, and 2 of those days was Nikki in real life, where it was like this. I still vlog. See, I brought my vlog camera.
I know, I'm gonna be on a
still
vlog.
a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's it feel?
it feels great. How does it feel for you? Did you like it?
I don't know yet. We'll have to see how it comes out, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, does this count as being
Go
a YouTuber?
read the comment section.
Does doing the podcast count as being a YouTuber?
Well, it's on YouTube. I don't know if it counts.
Yeah.
I think you're not a YouTuber until you.
I'm YouTube adjacent.
There's YouTube grinders. Like I was a grinder.
Yeah, 5 days a
YouTuber.
week is a fucking lot.
It's a grind.
yeah.
Yeah. So as one of the formats, it was Nikki in real life, but then it moved to a whole separate channel.
Yeah, I heard you had a cooking segment too.
Yeah, Tasty Tuesdays.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you still do that?
No. I mean, nothing's over forever. Sometimes it can come back. But
Nothing
I did that
lasts
for like
forever.
6 years. Originally, it was because I didn't know how to cook, and I thought it'd be fun to like vlog learning how to cook, and then make my boyfriend at the time, and he's now my husband, try it and tell me if it was edible. And like the whole thing was just, is it tasty?
It's always
Oh, God.
edible. It's just a matter of how edible.
Is she pregnant?
Oh shit.
Yeah, this was me. And then after 6 years, I kind of like knew how to cook. And so we'd just do wild things like, can I make this banana peel taste like chicken?
Can you?
No.
That's pretty tough.
That'd be pretty tough.
Yeah, well, some of the things did taste like other things.
Some might call that alchemy.
Yes.
Are you an alchemist?
Well, vegan cooking does feel like alchemy.
Wow.
So I got really into plant-based cooking and making things taste like other things.
That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
because like when you
hardcore.
can't use like all the things that taste good, it's hard to make things taste
No,
good.
opposite. I think
Like you
that
can't use butter and cheese.
but they have really good vegan butter now. But I think because they
Do
have
they?
to be creative.
Get her, Brian. Get her.
He's coming for me. Huh? I'm not a vegan.
No, I know. I saw you eat
What
steak.
I'm a pescatarian. I don't eat steak.
Oh no.
I'm a
exa-
pescatarian.
What
You
exactly
went to a
would
steakhouse,
vegan
though.
butter
I
be?
did. I had salmon.
Oh, okay.
What
Well,
would
there you
vegan butter be made of? Isn't it just margarine?
It's not margarine. I don't know what it's made of. Probably a bunch
It's
of
worse
oils.
than margarine.
It
Imagine
tastes
that,
like butter.
I'm
You
sure
won't
it's
go. I
believe it's
can't
not.
believe it's not
yeah, so
butter.
does,
Earth
so does
balance.
margarine.
You can't believe it's not margarine.
Oh man.
Maybe
Yeah.
we could do Tice Tuesdays and just see what Landon will
Tasty
eat.
Tuesdays.
Yes.
Yeah, just see what he'll eat every
But he'll
Tuesday.
eat everything. He won't even be able to tell if it's tasty or not because he just
Inhales
yeah,
it.
I'm a really
Consumes
bad
everything.
judgment of food and how does it taste, because I will think that anything tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have taste
It's a good
buds?
confidence
I do.
builder, though. You know.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah.
All you
just-
ladies
just
out there
make
who don't know
something-
how to cook, this man is single.
No,
Here we
I'll
go.
cook.
He's
Sell
right.
it. Sell it.
He's
Sell
I
right.
it.
still cook.
Let
Let
bro
him cook.
cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let bro cook.
Hey,
Let
Nikki,
bro
you said
cook.
your background was Filipino. Is that right?
Yeah, half Filipino.
Have you had balut?
No.
Okay, so I really want Landon to try that. So
Oh shit!
We'll have
I
to
don't think I
save
could
that.
be here for it.
Yeah.
It's so sad looking.
It is kind of sad looking and depressing.
Yeah, doesn't your mom have ducks or something?
She formerly did. You gave my mom duck names, and
I
she
did.
didn't realize
they
that they
got
were.
rejected.
Yeah, she didn't realize they were from the Super Mario universe,
Yeah.
and she got scared.
I was even being nice because Landon, but first of all, this was my introduction to Landon because I was not following anybody and it popped up on my timeline because of poker Twitter. And it was like, hey, my mom needs duck names. And I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Like, I don't know who you are, but I got you.
But I love ducks.
He's like, please keep it nice. And also one of them is named Daisy and the other one's named
Petunia.
It was Petunia,
So
yeah.
I was like, well, I don't fuck Petunia, but Daisy has a place in the Mario universe. So let me just make them all Mario characters. And I really wanted a duck to be named Waluigi. Like,
Yeah.
how do you be depressed and come home to a duck named Waluigi? You can't do it. So I couldn't wait for the acceptance of my names. And Landon accepted them right away, but his mom was offended.
Well,
my mom was very concerned.
the answer to how do you get upset coming home to a Waluigi is to find out that the feral neighborhood cat has eaten Waluigi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what kind of happened. And then some other ducks kind of took over the planter. There was like an invasion going on. And then at some point they learned how to coexist. But then the neighbors were not too thrilled that there were ducks living in my mom's planter.
Why?
They
It's your
just did
mom's
not
planter.
like fun.
Is your neighborhood an HOA?
Yup.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not
Fuck the
bussin'.
HOAs.
So then what? They shot him with BB guns?
I don't know what they did, but the ducks are no longer there. And my mom's planter got like, there was like a wall over it now.
Sounds like they had balut.
Yeah. Sounds like the
I
ducks
think they were too old for Balut. To be Balut.
Yeah. They were like hatched. Balut's not.
No, I know. I
Hatched,
know.
yeah.
Come on. I'm just
like,
taking a
they're all
shot
like
here.
This with
Yeah.
like little feathers on them.
Yeah. RIP in the chat to all the
RIP
ducks
in the
out
chat
there. Yeah.
to the Balut
Um,
chicks.
Balut chicks.
The Balut babes.
The Balut babes.
The boss Balut babes.
Yeah.
God, I could just see
Triple
Landon
B.
just like crunching on the beak and enjoying every
No.
bite.
Oh.
Good.
And he's like, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Good. There was a point in time where like every day the routine is eggs, protein pancakes, whatever. It involves, roughly a dozen eggs. And Landon just decided one day to take it upon himself to no longer throw the eggshells away. And he's just eating them like potato chips.
Isn't there bacteria in that? Like, I've heard a lot of like bad things about eggshells.
You hear a lot of things.
Because
you
I was
know?
going to do a Tasty Tuesday where we presented it in eggshells. And then it was like, oh, there's like lots of bacteria and you could die.
I mean, theoretically, you're supposed to boil the eggshells before you eat them, but you can eat
but
them.
you're like, nah.
Landon's still alive, so.
Yeah. It's been a while
Sheesh.
since I've had some eggshells, though.
I told Landon I'd randomly throw in a sheesh.
I like it.
I don't know when to use it, what
Yeah,
context.
you'll figure it
but
out.
We're getting there.
Yeah, you'll get there.
I just randomly say these shit and then like it's always wrong, but I don't care.
Yeah.
No,
No
you're
cap,
getting better.
for real,
Honestly,
for real.
though, I would
Bussin'.
say the average
Sheesh.
age of the group has zoomed down because of the presence.
You shouldn't be proud of that.
No, I
Your
should be.
generation's destined to bring the earth to ruin.
Jesus.
No, but you like but we're gonna do
It's
it in
not
a
gonna be
fun
very-
way.
It's
You're
not
not
gonna be very
Zoomers.
bussin',
You're
so-
not Zoomers. You're Doomers.
Yeah,
Zoomers.
You've doomed us all.
it's gonna be in a fun way though. Like the world's gonna be burning down. It's gonna be like, yo, like let bro cook. Like
You're all
We're
dabbing.
all cooking.
let the earth
right
cook.
now.
Climate change. Let the earth cook. Let the earth cook.
Let the earth cook.
Oh man. So YouTube,
Yeah.
this has just been it forever.
Yeah, no, so I never meant to do that. Again, did I talk about Mr. Magooing my way through life on the air or
Not
not?
on camera.
Not
I
on
always
camera.
forget whether it's pre-production
Yeah.
or post. I'm like,
I
we
did a
put
whole
that
show
on?
already before this.
Everything.
I'm done.
Everything pre-production ended with the Spaniards and Vikings conquering land.
Oh, I believe I said raping and pillaging.
Correct.
Yes.
I just can't say, so I
Yeah.
needed to lead you there.
It's my culture. Okay. No, I'm half Filipino. My last name was a Spanish last name because of that, the conquering,
Mhm.
and it meant beggar of money in Spanish, and nobody could pronounce it, so I just chopped it in half.
Smart.
And now it's Limo instead of Limosnero. And now it's Limo Green because I got married, but I didn't want to give
Congrats
up
on the
Limo.
marriage and having
Did
a
you go-
significant other. that
Did you
cares
go for
about
the hyphen?
No. I don't know. I'm a weirdo, straight up weirdo. I was like anti-hyphen. I don't know why. But
Down with hyphens.
I thought I was going to change my last name 100% when I got married.
Honestly, though, I kind of like that because the hyphen sort of seems a little bit pretentious.
That's what I thought. I was like, well, I'm not going to be a hyphen person.
Yeah.
But then it's actually just a pain in the fucking ass every time you travel because the airline's like, that's not your last name. You can't just pick one. And if you put a space, they're like, we don't take that character. Like, we don't take spaces. Like, some places are like, you
They
can't.
don't accept you.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, it's a space. It's not a hyphen. It's a fucking space. It's my last name. It's two names. But they don't like it. So they put them together, or they only let me have Green, or they only let me have Limo. So I never know what my actual legal
Yeah, you're kind of at a crossroads.
last name is. But I thought I was going to change it to Green all the way until I actually got to the part where you change your name. And I felt too attached. Like, I built my whole identity off of Nikki Limo and like your name, and you just don't realize how much weight it carries until you're going to change it. Like, back in the day, you would get married at like 18. So you hadn't really
Didn't
established
matter.
like
Right,
a life yet. So you're like, whatever, fuck my last name. And then, but now we get married later. Like, I got married when I was 30, and I was like, I've lived so much of life as this name. I can't get rid of it.
Right.
What if it's, and then she disappears forever? I can't do it. So
How
I
did you
couldn't do it.
travel into the future? You're only 27.
I know, I'm foretelling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm manifesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Quantum jumping.
I'm leaping.
Yeah, I'm jumping timelines
Okay.
to where I'm older.
Fair.
Way older, like too old.
Yeah, like almost
way older than I am
almost
right now.
like decrepit. You know,
Yeah.
like, there's some people in this room that are like 40.
That's, ooh.
Yeah.
That's
They-
gross.
and they're still.
Why you gotta
really
call
gross.
Guapo out
Are
like
they
that?
okay?
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Rude.
Do they have health issues?
Actually, the majority of this room is over 40. It's kind of.
What?
Well, see, when you turn 40, you should get health insurance because shit starts to break down.
Oh. Oh no. Well,
Mamma
that's a good thing
mia.
that's not for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So long
that's
into
like
the
15
future,
years from
yeah.
now,
From
Nikki.
now.
You're
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I do
A
have
lot of
health
time to think
insurance. I
about
think
it.
it's bullshit. It's like so expensive. Like, why? But, I guess society.
It is
Yeah.
very outrageous, but I saw what happens when you don't have it. Melissa had an allergy attack. I took her to the ER. They literally pumped her full of Benadryl and sent her home, and she got hit with like $2,800 worth of
What?
expenses.
Yeah, because it was the emergency room. And
Oh
the emergency
my
room's
God.
Super
It's
expensive.
outrageous.
Yeah, so we didn't have it for 2 years, me and my husband. And then when that law happened where like they fine you, like we got some. And then even when it went away, we just kept it. But I'm happy that we kept it because he got kidney stones when we were in Costa Rica. And it was a nightmare. I thought he was going to die. I had no idea what was wrong with him. I don't know if any of you have had kidney stones.
No, but
it
I've
is
heard how painful they are.
Insane. I
Yeah.
heard it's more painful than giving birth. And that's
yeah,
from
or at least comparable.
his
right,
mom
yeah.
who had 4 babies naturally. And she was like, no, kidney stones, way worse.
How do you get kidney stones?
Well, they say it's genetic, but then
I assume there has to be something dietary.
I
Yeah,
think so
there's a
too, but he
buildup of something,
refuses
right?
to believe
Build up
in
the
that.
calcium.
Build up
I'm
the
like, he
calcium.
drinks like 5 monsters a day. I'm like, maybe don't drink 5 monsters a day. He's like,
that-
nah, it's
yeah.
genetic. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard, well, I've done a lot of caffeine research because I'm a big consumer. And
Yeah.
I've read a lot about correlation between caffeine consumption and potential kidney stones. But usually it's because caffeine's a diuretic
Well,
and you're not consuming enough water
And
on
there's
top
like
of it.
there's an ingredient like sodium nitrate or some like fucking
Oh, like the energy drinks?
some calcite, some sort of like, something that creates the calcium, like, or
Yeah,
it
yeah.
helps build on the calcium that makes the kidney stone. I'm not a doctor. I'm just spitting out like some terms. I like to just
You're spitting out the
I
shit
just
that
like
they
to-
don't tell you.
Some shit they don't tell you. I just
Right,
like to
right.
throw out buzzwords and sound legit when I'm talking about something I have no idea about. But I can tell you it cripples you. Like, my husband has the highest pain tolerance of anyone I know, like straight up just like monster pain tolerance. And he was on the ground couldn't move and was like, just save yourself. Are you checking your Twitter while
He's
you're...
literally in the shot, just staring at his fucking phone. Like, he
getting a
doesn't
text
know
from
he's
a
in a
girl?
2-shot.
No.
Yo,
I
Landon
was-
doesn't know. We got to be out here getting it popping, my dude. Come on,
Hey.
man.
But
You
why
already
do we
know
do
this.
this? Why do we do
Talk
this?
about this.
Hey,
You're
hey,
on your
Conrad.
phone on Twitter, man.
Hey, Conrad.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Nikki. Nice to meet you. I'm Conrad.
Nice to meet you. I'm Conrad.
You're Conrad. Yeah, Nikki's Conrad now.
Conrad, did everybody leave the house
What is-
as they were supposed to?
Everybody did leave the house. Well, I'm not sure about Corey because Corey's by himself.
He's
But,
responsible.
I'm pretty
It's
sure he left
okay.
the house. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's gone. Melissa woke up. Everything was cool. You
I was
know?
looking
Nice
at the
and
house
toasty.
chat. The people that came and saw the house really liked the black dog.
Oh, yeah.
You
Nice.
got a new dog?
No,
Yo.
we
So
we
I
have
go
a
in the
third
house
dog.
chat. I'm like, I go in the house chat and I see that these people that saw the house said if we buy the house, we keep the dog. And I was like, hey, Melissa, Berkey said he'll give you $50K extra if they pay full price. And she said yes. My God.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
My God.
to be fair, Rudy's getting up in age, and he's a little bit of an asshole. I think it's pretty reasonable to sell him for $50K
Whose
at this
dog
point.
is it?
Melissa's.
Well, what she said is it's the contingent that you would clone him.
That might
can't-
cost more than
You
50K.
can't clone personalities.
Mm.
Looked into it
That
because
might
I
be a
really
good
love my
thing.
cat and I like him to live forever. But you can't do it.
It's very regrettable.
Hey, good luck today, Conrad. You got a day 2 in the Win Millions 3,500, right? The main event.
Yep, I do.
Let's
I'm
go.
here now.
Looks like you got a nice little bag of chips.
Yeah, we have like 75 big blinds, so we're
That's
kind
good.
of just chilling.
Nice.
It's kind of like, what do we call it? Moving day.
Moving
Since we
day.
don't make
That's
the money
right.
till tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah, you have
So
like
we're ju-
you have
we're
like
just-
1.5 million end of the day today.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I just want to be
I
happy to be
know. I'm
alive.
saying I know. I'm psychic and I'm
He's
telling
manifesting.
you what you'll have. Yes. Let me cook.
Ooh,
Let
I
him
like
cook.
it.
See,
Yo,
that was
cook, my
wonderful.
bro. I ain't mad at you.
Yo, let bro cook.
I ain't
All
mad
right,
at you. I
Conrad,
ain't
it's
mad
been
at you. I
great
just
hearing
wanted to
from you from what seems to be the basement in a bomb shelter
From
somewhere.
the fucking abyss.
I don't know how you're also in Las Vegas and it's nighttime where you're at, but you've managed to pull that one off.
He
pretty
looks like
well.
he's in the back of a limo.
You guys, just relax. Don't tell everybody where I'm at right now, okay?
All right.
Shit's going on.
All right, good
All
luck,
right,
big
anyway,
guy.
I'm out of here. I
Nice
got
seeing
shit
you.
to do. Bye, guys.
Good luck.
Bye.
All right, Nikki, we have to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Nobody knows who you are. We need to
I don't
explain.
know who I am. I'm here to find out who I am. Can you tell me?
No, absolutely not.
You gotta find it out for yourself.
All right. So you've had a pretty successful career on YouTube. You have over 500,000
Oh
followers.
yeah, so I
How'd
Mr.
that
Magoo'd my way through everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been trying the same. It's not working
but
out as well.
no, I was trying to. Yeah, I'll just take it. Can you edit that out
No,
Nope,
of
we're
the live
live.
stream?
See, this is
Too professional on production.
Brutal. I know. When did you decide to transition into poker, or how? Let me rephrase that. How much poker do you play, and how serious of a hobby or pursuit is it?
What is poker to you?
It's a lot of questions.
It's all the same one, though.
It's all it's a lot of different ways of asking this question.
It's like when a teacher says you need 1,500 words for an essay,
yeah,
and you don't have enough words. That's what he just did.
it's been so long since I've been in school. I don't think you could use
No, that's not true.
those analogies.
You've been in school like 5 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
true, truth, facts.
Yeah. What is poker to you?
Okay, so first of all, YouTube happened on accident. I was acting and doing stand-up and then needed footage for a reel, and so I started working with this sketch group who ended up being like one of the top 100 comedy channels on YouTube. And then I'm trying to make the story really short, but like a bunch of the
we got
top
all day.
so a bunch of the top comedy channels at the time, this was like 2009, 2010, got together and made a super channel called The Station, which became Maker Studios. Maker Studios was like the first MCN, which is multi-channel network. It's like an agency for other YouTube channels. They were the first one to come up with this concept of like taking other channels under their wing and like
Umbrellaing.
yeah, and then like promoting them while also taking a cut of their revenue. And this was when the partner program, you used to have to apply for it. Not all channels were monetized. It was really hard to get monetized actually. So they would help you get monetized and blah, blah, blah. So I was like with them from the beginning. Like I saw all this stuff form. Like it was with all of those channels. We were all like in and out of each other's channels, a lot of collaboration. This was like the golden era of YouTube.
I'm an OG creator.
Content creator. Yes.
Oh shit.
And so at the time, because I was just an actor on all of these people's channels, like my own channel didn't really have any content on it, but it was there. And so they would like push their audience to go subscribe to my channel. So then I was like, okay, I guess I have to start
now
putting
that people
content
are
on this
subbed,
channel.
Might as well do something.
I don't know what to do. And then I got involved with the YouTube space. They were launching this huge space that it was basically like a tax write-off for YouTube. And they had all this professional equipment and crazy shit. And they took a guinea pig group of people, creators in the space, to like make a bunch of professional content with it. So I had this series that I wrote that I had been wanting to produce but didn't have the means to do it, and like this was the perfect way to do it. And I used all of those contacts that I had in the YouTube world from being on their channels so much to be in my series and make them the funny ones. Like I wrote them, I wrote them as being like the funny ones. I was like the straight man, and that was called Audition Fail. And then that kind of launched my channel into the space, and then it's just winging it from there. Like YouTube evolved a lot in that space. It went from being scripted comedy to being like more personality content. And so I shifted into that. And then it moved into podcasting. And so a lot of OG YouTubers started podcasts. So we were doing that. Okay. That was all fine and dandy. It was all coming together. We had just started a new podcast called Big Mood. Well, it was called Hey Bitch at the time, but it later became Big Mood, that had just started in 2019. And then 2020 happened. And 2020 was like this fucking crazy shift, obviously for the world, but also in the space. Everyone was like, what do we do? And luckily we could still do the podcast. So that was good, but it was really depressing. First of all, my channel got demonetized because they said I was selling firearms. Wasn't true at all.
Wow, damn, you're an arms dealer?
I had to prove that I wasn't manufacturing and selling illegal firearms on my channel. I don't know why or how that happened, but they remonetized my channel eventually after a few months, but it never was the same again. Like I'd put up content and my audience wouldn't get it, and so many people got unsubscribed randomly. Like it was just a shit show. Yeah. And YouTube doesn't really have a good customer service department. Like it's all automated. It's really hard to get a hold of a human person. Yeah, that was us in the beginning. And then so we were doing the podcast, but there was like a shift in personal dynamics, relationships. People wanted to do different things during the pandemic. My channel was demonetized. Shit hit the fan. I found out I had a half biological brother that I didn't know about. Wow. Just a lot of things happened during this pandemic. And we were house hunting in Vegas, but you couldn't play, craps or table games like
you had to hide your guns that you were selling.
I had to hide the guns I was selling for sure, and these guns.
I can see the gains.
Yeah, a lot of gains.
Not a lot of happiness going on.
I had a lot of gains content back then too,
Landon,
like hashtag gains.
Landon, did you notice she broke 45 degrees there?
I did.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You're flexing correctly.
Thank you.
You did it.
Because I have gains.
Yeah.
So I was playing poker to get my fix of Vegas while we weren't able to actually go out and gamble.
So you wanted to feel something.
I did. And I had played poker casually for a long time. Like my family is really into games. Like, so I have a huge Filipino family. And when we'd get together, we'd play Scrabble and we'd play poker. Man, those two things.
It's really kind of crazy how many people actually play poker that don't really know that poker is an industry.
I didn't at all.
Neither did I.
We played with quarters, so I played with family for a long time. I actually learned how to play from my female cousins, which I heard is most other females learn from like their brother or their father. And I'm like, no, actually it was like my girl cousins wanted to play because all the adults were playing. I was like 10 years old. It was Easter and they wouldn't let us play with them. So my girl cousins were like, okay, we're going to start our own game. And we played with these, like, you guys know what White Rabbit candies are? They're like Tootsie Rolls that are like white chocolate flavor. It's an Asian candy, but they're like white chocolate Tootsie Rolls. And those were our poker chips.
Sounds like you took the worst candy out there and made it
was
worse.
Bad. It was
significantly worse.
You could eat the paper though.
Oh, well.
That was fun.
That's an upgrade.
That's a plus. Little niche. Okay. Sure. So I learned how to play I was really good at it. I won a lot of candy. I had to learn bankroll management because I ate like most of my snack. And
Gotta get those gains.
yeah, that's that. See, that's the candy right there. It exists.
Woof.
I heard you guys a whole episode of what's the best and worst candy. I think they're one
side
tier
are you
above
on?
Tootsie Roll.
What side are you on? Are you a fruit person or are
I
you a
started that
chocolate
Twitter
person?
thread, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't give an answer,
It blew
did
up.
you?
No, I did.
But in a comment, not in the
Okay,
actual.
so Halloween candy, chocolate, 100% top tier. Like all the good Halloween candy is chocolate. But in real life, I'm a huge Sour Patch person. I love Haribo gummy bears and Sour Patch. I just don't think that's good Halloween candy.
It's not Halloween themed.
It's like my everyday candy.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm Halloweening, I need a Butterfingers. I need a fucking Twix bar.
Butterfingers is
I need,
nice.
but I will say, I like the bigger Reese's,
yeah.
not the smaller ones. You guys were like really into the small ones in that episode.
I don't discriminate. Reese's is Reese's.
No,
I like the Reese's that.
Also, it's not even Reese's. It's Reese.
No, it's not. It's
I mean,
Reese's.
Pieces. We say
Because
Reese's.
in
We
Philly they say
Reese's
Reese's.
Pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's incorrect. Reese's is not a thing.
Yeah,
We just-
Reese's is not a thing. People from
I
Philly
guess
say
Reese's.
that.
Yeah, Reese's would be the.
I'm from
possessive.
California. It's Reese's.
Like during the holidays, the Reese's, it's not just the cup. It's like for like Easter coming up, there'll be like eggs, but
Yeah.
it's Reese's Pieces,
Yeah.
but it's like twice as big.
I
I
They
think
did
the
like Santa's.
eggs. I think
It's
the
amazing.
eggs have too much chocolate though.
No.
The chocolate to peanut butter ratio feels off.
See, I
No,
like
no, I
the
think
more
it's the
chocolate.
opposite.
Yeah.
It's less chocolate. You want more peanut butter?
Yeah.
I
No,
want-
it is more peanut butter. No, because
I
the
don't
cup
know.
the cup is like it's thick. The chocolate around it's thicker.
Yeah,
Right.
like-
If you get like the egg,
It's soft.
it's soft and
It's
it's
thinner.
yeah. I think it's way more. I don't know. Now I'm curious. Now I'm doubting myself.
I would
But
have agreed
I-
with Matt, but now that
Michelle's
you
gonna buy
describe
some, so
it,
I'll
you've
bring some in for you,
reignited
Bert.
my memory. Like you brought back, and I do agree that the chocolate is thinner,
Right.
and not hard.
Right. Exactly.
like-
yeah.
Yeah, it's like mushy chocolate.
Yeah. Because like the top of like the crown of the cup.
Anyway, there's a
is
whole
harder.
episode of this if you guys want to watch it.
Yep.
Just reenacting
The
the whole
top of
episode.
the crown of the cup is basically translucent. You could literally see the peanut butter. The
Yeah,
chocolate
yeah.
is that thin.
But I like that the peanut butter is soft in the big cups, and it's not soft in the small cups. It's like chalky. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's fair. But you could eat so many of them.
I don't want to.
Oh, that's where we.
I'd rather eat
that's where we're
quality
different.
over quantity.
I-
But
Yeah.
the mini ones, they'd make better poker chips if we were playing a game.
True.
When
and
did you
it's
when did
unusual.
you graduate from down bad Tootsie Rolls to actual money?
So I think college years, Landon, cover your ears. We're in the money, it was like the moneymaker era of when I was in college, and I
wasn't.
actually didn't pay attention to any of that other than all of my peers started playing poker a bunch. So we would have like home games, and I did pretty well intuitively. We didn't study charts or anything. I just like
Yeah, we were freestyling back then,
yeah,
baby.
we were freestyling, and I just anything with a face I was stoked on. I would bluff if it was a low board and I had a face card, I just bluffed and it would work. And I don't know. I usually came up pretty big with those home games and didn't think anything about it. And then I stopped playing for a while. I would play, maybe with family and like friends every once in a while, but I wasn't like playing on a regular basis. I'd play on the Zynga app, like the Play Money app sometimes if I was on a trip. I don't know. But yeah, in the pandemic, we were coming to Vegas a lot, and I started playing on Zynga a lot more to get my fix. And then I made a joke about how I won 20 million on like Zynga poker. And someone in my Instagram story was like, oh, I didn't know you were into poker. Have you read this game, Mental Game of Poker? Because I was just playing the Play Money app during the stressful times, like to de-stress. We were shopping for a house. All this shit was going down with the friend circles and the like business and pandemic, and it was just stressful. So I would just play for hours to take my mind off everything. And I got really into the game, and they were like, you should read this book, Mental Game of Poker. And I was like, okay. And so I read it. And in the first paragraph of this book, it was like, maybe something you need to work on is starting hand selection. For example, when you in the beginning, you probably didn't know you should fold Queen QJ tiny O to a 3B OOP. And I was like, fuck?
Goddamn Zoomers.
Queen Jack. I could put together QJ could be Queen Jack. What's that tiny O? I don't know. What's a 3-bet? Why would I fold that hand? That's a good hand. That's 2 faces, first of all. And what's oop? Like, what the fuck is oop? Like, okay, there's a lot to this game I don't know. So that intrigued me. I read a lot more. I read the whole book. I actually found that book to be really nice in a life analogy way. A lot of poker is kind of analogous to life. I like that about it. But I am a huge nerd. I fucking love new hobbies. I like figuring shit out. I like puzzles. I like detective stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna learn this game. I'm gonna learn this GTO. Oh, they say that you can profit over a long period of time. Well, I was already trading options and using a strategy that was like, okay, you can 90% profit over a long period of time if you use this options trading strategy. So I was into strategies and making, tiny profits over, a gambling game type of game. And I started studying theory, and I was fascinated by the whole thing. I loved it. I loved learning positions. I loved learning ranges. I started watching poker vloggers. Learning bet sizes, but I probably studied for 4 months with a solver. It was Poker Snowy at the time, because that was what Mental Game of Poker mentioned, and this is the first one I saw. So I did that, and they have drills where I was working on starting hand selection, and I could not believe how many hands with a face you're supposed to fold. Like,
very depressing.
It was super depressing. I was like, I can't. King 7? I can't. And it's like, no, you're wrong. I had it on this setting where it would only let you know if you were wrong. Like if you made a mistake, then a message would pop up like, you should have done this. You should have folded. You should have called. You should have bet or whatever. And it was just wrong. Everything I did was wrong. And I was so mad that I don't like being wrong. So I was like, I'm going to get good at this. Yep. I printed out a range chart from every position. I think it was from 888 Poker. And I was like, okay, first I would make myself name the position that I was before without looking at the chart or anything. Like, okay, what position are you now? Under the gun. Okay. What can I start this hand? It's Queen 7 off. No, can't do it. Fold. And then I would hit fold, and I'm like, okay, an error message didn't pop up. Okay, good. And check the chart. And then it was just that every hand until I had it memorized where I could name the position I was and correctly fold or open the hand. Or if I got 3-bet, I'd be like, okay, am I supposed to call this? Okay, am I supposed to 4-bet? Okay, oh shit, I have to fold king queen off? That's insane. That's banana bonkers. I started in cash too, by the way. Yeah, and so it was just a lot of that for 4 months, and then I finally got the courage to try casino poker, play in a public space. And
it's intimidating at first, the first time you do it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was at Commerce Casino.
Oh my gosh. What a
start.
Fun
place to start.
Fun first experience.
My husband was actually the one that encouraged me to do it. It helps to have a really encouraging spouse, by the way. I've heard horror stories of people that aren't in the supportive relationship, and I can't imagine. Sometimes I'm at the table and they're like, your husband lets you play this? I'm like, lets me? That's so crazy. Yeah. That's a crazy word. No, he loves it. So we were coming back home from, I think it was Mother's Day. It was a Mother's Day or Memorial Day weekend. I think it was Memorial Day weekend. Okay. We're coming back from San Diego. His family's in San Diego. We lived in LA, and we were passing by the Commerce Casino. It's right off the freeway. And I'd always passed that casino and been like, I wonder what it's like in there. And so he's like, you should try playing poker. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's pretty crazy. I've only played with friends and online and with Play Money. And he's like, no, you should do it. You just pretend just pretend you're playing the Play Money app, or pretend you're doing your drills that you do in the morning. I'm like, okay. The drills do train you to be a nit, so I think I could profit. Okay, so I went in there and I was in a hot pink tank top with white shorts and
sounds like my kind of outfit.
Wedges. I knew it. You were my inspiration, actually.
Wow.
I didn't know it at the time, but yeah. So I walk in there and I thought it was gonna be like a Vegas casino where you could walk in with a a tank top and shorts, no one's staring at you.
Oh, they stare.
But it was not that. It was like a giant cafeteria of shuffling chips and
That's a great description of
Right,
commerce.
yeah,
For sure.
super intimidating. I was like, I didn't expect it to be like this. I thought it was going to be more flashy and like casino-y. So I was like, oh shit, what did I do? What did I get myself into? I had to sign up for a players club card, and I'm walking to, I didn't know how to sign up for a table. I had to learn all that. And then I'm walking to my table. Everybody's like I just felt a lot of eyeballs staring. I was like, okay, just act like you know what you're doing. Just act like you've been here before. And I'm sitting down and I'm just pretending that it's the solver, that it's like I'm just playing my drills in the morning. And my only goal was to come out profitable, and I did. I went in with $200. By the way, if you ever go to Commerce, the 3-5 games are a $200 max buy-in. So I thought that was normal. 40 big blinds.
They're actually pretty sharp out there. They keep all their low stakes really, really, really capped.
Yeah.
And the only people who win are the rake.
Yeah, basically.
So they keep the economy like really flush because you lose slowly, but you lose entirely to the rake.
Yeah, and they keep it like to the degenerate, like people that like the gambly, I want to shove kind of crowd.
Yeah, you can only lose 40 big blinds at a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. So it was perfect for me as starting out because I only gave myself $1,000 to start with as a bankroll. So I was like, okay, this is like 5 buy-ins. Okay, great. And I thought because the vloggers were all like, the ones I was watching was 2-5. I didn't even think about playing 1-3. I just started at 3-5. And I was playing.
1-3's for peasants, Nikki.
I know. What am I, poor?
I run a YouTube
I have
channel.
$1,000 to spend. I'll have you. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
And it was scary, but it was so fun. I had so much fun playing with these grinders who were looking at me sideways. Like I always had the nuts because I was just playing really tight. And they gave me lots of money, and I felt really good after. I was like, oh my God.
How long ago was this?
This was pandemic. I think it was beginning 2021. So I mean,
not that long ago.
Not that long
Not that long ago at all.
No. And then I was grinding. I started going back like every other day. It was like 3 times a week. I would go back to the Commerce. Yeah. And it, like everyone's masked up too. I liked it because no one knew who I was. It could
That's
be
true
like
too,
I could be whoever I was.
You felt like an extra layer of protection.
Yeah, and back to like the original, like trying on different roles and stuff as a kid, like being in like a new world and pretending I belong there. Like I just love that kind of feeling, like it's like I'm a spy in someone else's world. And so I just got to observe. I love table banter. I did stand up for a long time, so I like doing crowd work, but I'm not trying to be funny, so we're like, they don't know. I'm just like, I'm just roasting people at the table. It's really fun. I'm just like, I love needling. That's my favorite part. I think that's my favorite part of all poker is the needling. And hand reading. I'm still pretty intuitive, even studying all the charts. I liked learning the technical aspects and bet sizing and pot odds and all of that stuff. I like that, but really like the intuition part is more of my strength. So live play is way more fun for me than online play. I'm sorry, Landon.
Yeah. You're speaking to the choir here. In this
okay,
movie.
Good.
So 3-5 Commerce is a pretty far cry from 10-20 whatever on Max Payne Monday. How did you find yourself in that setting?
Mr. Magoo. No, so yeah, I was grinding 3-5. I had my ritual. I was like, I would get up in the morning, I would walk on my treadmill, I'd watch some poker vlogger videos to like get me in the headspace because it feels like, okay, that's me playing, and then I would go to the casino and I would play. I was profitable. I've never been not profitable. Like I'd never, knock on wood, I've never
you're gonna
she really has only been playing for 2 years, huh?
Yeah. Bankroll management is your friend. Like I've always been like big on, after those Tootsie Rolls, I'm like, I'm not gonna let that happen again.
You did give yourself a whole 5 buy-ins.
I did.
So you are pretty sharp.
So I was like, okay, if I can turn this $1,000 into $10,000 in a year, that I'll keep going. So it's kind of like a game. It was a hobby, but it was like a fun challenge. It was a game. I loved learning new spots. I loved recording hand histories and going over them and, getting better and just like really figuring out the game, being a beginner, being a student. I like being new at something and seeing the progress and improvement. I'm in love with the process. I think that's how you should be in life, is like really liking the process, because results are so fleeting that you just like, if you don't like what you're doing on a day to day, then you're just going to hate existing, which it's very easy to fall into. So yeah, learning spots was really fun. And then I went to a Brad Owen and Andrew Nemi meetup game at the Hustler. And that was a 5-5 game. And their buy-in is $1,000 max, which is insane.
It's like the whole roll.
Yeah, that's I'm like, people are just sitting down with $1,000. Are they kings? Where do they come from? Are they trust fund babies? I don't know. That was a lot. So I bought in at 300. That was the minimum you could buy in. I was like, this is even more than the max at Commerce, the min buy-in. And there's me on the Hustler. I was at Hustler Casino, and the guy. So people were just, they were bullying me, but not really bullying. They were just playing their stack size versus my stack size, and I was not opening correctly for my stack depth because I was just not used to it. I didn't know that 100 big blinds was like standard, or 200 big blinds, which was what they were playing. And luckily the guy next to me was like, hey, you might want to buy in bigger because you're just going to keep getting blown off of pots. Like unless you have the nuts, you're just not going to be able to play any hands. And I was like, okay. So I rebought for 1,000, and I ended up working my way back up to break even. But
that guy actually gave you terrible advice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
we know
it worked at that time. It works for LA.
Well, the simple truth of it is
they should be playing down to my stack size.
Correct.
Yeah.
The effective stack is always the shortest stack.
But they weren't.
Well, it doesn't matter if they are or not.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good at pre-flop, you just get to be all in a bunch.
Yeah. No, I wasn't good at pre-flop.
That's
I think
right. Well, you were supposed to be studying the snowy.
No, I know, but I didn't know about stack depth. I just had it set. It was
playable or not playable.
The default was, I think 100 big blinds, but I didn't really pay attention to that. I just, playable or not playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to learn a lot as I went. That was the next step of learning. It's funny that wasn't that long ago, because it feels like a lifetime ago. I got really drunk because I'm not good at meeting new people sober.
Disagree. We all literally just met.
That's true. I did drink though. I was drunk by the time we met.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There was an open bar.
Okay, you wore it well. I did not know you were drunk.
It only takes 2 drinks for me to be pretty off the rails, but and then I got fed a lot of wine at that dinner. But anyway, I digress.
Fucking Todd.
I'm very sloppy when I meet people, but I'm glad that I passed.
Emo Slay Batty Todd.
I was very Slay Batty.
Yeah,
Todd Slay Batty.
He's Slay Zaddy.
Slay Zaddy.
Zaddy Todd.
We had a lot of Zaddy talk at that dinner.
Yeah,
it was awkward.
That should have been the cue.
Yeah.
No, that just made you think I was young, not drunk.
No.
Okay.
I thought you were young to begin with, but
okay.
Not Landon Young, to be clear.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too young.
No one wants to be associated with that generation.
Thank you.
It's funny because when you were playing, like just getting into poker, that was when I was online, like starting to get 2-5, playing 2-5 online.
Nice.
Yeah. So like a year before that was when I was playing 50-0, and that's when I kind of got into poker. I got into poker at the start of 2018.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2018.
It feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
Many hours ago, like 200-hour months.
It feels like forever ago, and also like it was yesterday.
Nah, for me it doesn't feel like yesterday.
No?
I feel like a completely different person.
Well, you
then.
are, because you went through puberty.
Yeah. I went through life
It
puberty
happens
for
to
sure.
people.
Yeah, I grew up.
They develop
Kinda.
into an adult.
No,
Voice
I don't know how to
change.
drive yet.
Oh man.
He still has a while to go before the whole prefrontal cortex is developed.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Cope, seethe, cope.
Just eat a lot of eggshells. You'll be fine.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So, I drunkenly.
So now you're a 25-50 grinder.
Yeah. So now I'm a 25-50 grinder, and
Yeah.
I just jumped. I was like, okay, guy taught me everything I need to know at that Hustler meetup game.
Yep.
You guys buying deeper?
I just buy deep and go hard.
That's what she said. Maybe.
She did say it. She said it right now.
Did you win on the Hustler stream? You played it multiple times,
I was
right?
really
Or did you only play it once?
I only played it once so far. So far, I've told the boys I would come back soon.
The boys.
The boys. Yeah, I was up the first half, and then I got just a really bad run, like boat over boated. I folded when I would have had quads with my favorite hand, by the way. Pocket fives is my favorite hand, and I'm like, I got to play it no matter what. But then I got it was like a 4-bet from Sashimi, and she's like, I'm like, I know she has something. She did. She had ace king, and there were like 4 other people in the pot, and they were calling this 4-bet, and I was like, I can't call with a third of my stack with pocket fives. And then it flopped quads and everybody was betting. And I was like, what the fuck? It's my favorite hand. I would have been so golden. But
the horror.
Yeah, so I was grinding 2-5, 5-5, and I moved to Vegas. I thought I was just going to be doing YouTube and doing my podcast and, you know, playing at the strip, playing cash games casually. And I was like, well, WSOP is coming up. I've never played tournaments or studied them. And my neighbors across the street were Katie Lindsey and Chris Moorman. And I met them because I was told they were professional gamblers by my gossip neighbor. So yeah, I moved into this neighborhood. I loved it. It's by the lakes, and it's like one of the only neighborhoods in Vegas that has like lakes, and it reminded me of California. And so I was like, I gotta live here. But I was told it was a retirement community, so I was like, God, I hope there's like one couple that like maybe knows how to play poker, and then we could like go to the strip, or we could play home games or something. We could be friends. And the first lady to introduce herself, we went on a walk, and she was like, do you know the people across the street from you are professional gamblers? And I was like, what? That's crazy. What game? Is it blackjack or maybe poker? Do they play poker? Or is it roulette, or what is it? And she's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, it's cards though. I'll find out. And so then she comes back to me the next time, and she's like, okay, I found out. They're poker players. And I was like, no, what are their names? That's crazy. Yeah. And then she told me,
how can I meet them?
Yeah. Then I ran into Katie when I was checking my mail, and she introduced herself, and she had heard all about me and my husband, because this neighbor knows everything about every neighbor. And so she's like, I was like, oh, I heard you guys play poker. And she's like, yeah, I heard you and your husband do YouTube, and he does crypto. I'm like, wow, we really know a lot about each other right off the bat. And I asked her about poker and if she wanted to go play on the strip, and she said, no, I don't play cash games. I only play tournaments. I was like, that's crazy, because every pro that I knew played mostly cash games and then sometimes tournaments. And she introduced me really to the whole tournament world. And
Lifetime of pain.
Yeah, but I didn't meet them until the WSOP. In that time, from February until May, I started studying with a coach. So I went to Andrew Nemi and I asked him for who he recommends for private coaching, because I was having a really tough time getting coach recommendations. People were like, oh, you should do this course or that course. I was like, no, I've done courses. I just want a private coach to like go over my leaks. Yeah. And to like help me go from cash games to MTT. And so he recommended Jesse Sylvia. So I started working with Jesse. Well, Jesse sent me a bunch of quizzes to like make sure I was like,
is
okay.
Jesse poker snowy?
Jesse is poker snowy. You didn't know? He is floppable though.
Yeah.
So
Jesse Snowy.
I started working with him, and the first time I played a live MTT, I was studying a lot. I was studying MTTs before I worked with him, and I won a WSOP.com one. I won second place for $2,000, and
I doubled the bankroll.
No, I took all of that and I was like, I'm putting this into private coaching. So I like to reinvest into a business. I was treating it like a business. And I was like, okay, so I'll go into coaching. Smart. I got to get ready for WSOP. So then I bought a coaching package for 10 sessions.
From Jesse Snowy.
From Jesse Snowy. Snowy.
Yeah, from
Jesse
Snowy.
Snowy.
Yeah, Jesse Snowy.
And I learned a lot. The first live MTT I did was at the Orleans. It was $100 buy-in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
These are the tortoise streets right here.
Yeah.
So I went from the Commerce to the Orleans. It felt like home, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
The Orleans is the Commerce of
It's
Vegas.
commerce adjacent. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had no idea what was happening. I was like, oh my God, this is not like online at all. I don't know how many big blinds I have at any given time. I was using a calculator the whole time.
Or
I was
anybody
like,
else's big blinds, right? Anybody
yeah,
else's
I was like
stack,
trying to calculate stacks. I mean, this is so crazy. Also, the way that chip stacks, so much different than cash. I'm used to having like, stacks of chips, and this is like little tiny baby piles.
Yeah.
I don't feel rich at all. I'm like constantly looking at the blinds moving. The clock is making me so nervous. Everything's going so fast. Like going from online to live play was so hard.
A lot happened at once.
A lot happened at once. And so I didn't make it, but I was proud of myself for knowing my shoving ranges at 20 big blinds. I shoved Queen Jack suited over cutoff open and a button call from the small blind.
Nice.
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
nice, yeah.
And I never would have done that in cash.
Yeah,
'cause
nobody ever
it's
does that in
insane.
these things. Right.
So I got called by Jax, and I was like, I'm fucked. Nope, Queen came, and he was out, and I was like, I rule. And then I got it at a huge stack. I got a set over aces, and I stacked another person. I was like, I love tournaments. This is the best. And then I lost it all to some shit hand. It was like King 10 suited into like my kings, and they got a flush, and I was out. And I was like, oh my God, why would someone do that? Like, why would they shove King 10 there? Like, that's so mean. And no, I didn't even make it past late reg. I was like so bummed. And then I had my first session with Jesse that week. And the very next week, I went back to the Orleans and I won first place at that $100 buy-in.
Nice.
A real redemption story.
Yeah. Like,
shout out to
it's like-
Jesse. Did something.
Yeah, he did something. He taught. We went over hand histories, and he went over like ranges and different like multi-way spots. Really like stuff that you can't learn in books, like multi-way spots, and just I don't know, just different spots that I was unfamiliar with that would come up frequently. And so I was really just trying to learn like one spot at a time. The first lesson he told me was to peel more from the button and the big blind, because I, as a cash player, like I was just over folding from those spots, like way too much. And so that helped a lot. And so I won first, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. I don't know what I did, but I'm going to try to do it again. I'm just going to keep studying. And so then the next month I entered a Survivor, and I won the Survivor, and that was like the mission. I survived. It was a $300 buy-in, got $2,500. So the bankroll started building, because it was like, well, these like $2,500 wins were like adding up, and I was going to use it for my bankroll for WSOP. So then I won the Survivor, and then the next week I won an MGM Grand, started their summer series for the very first time. And they started, the very first tournament was a $100 buy-in with, I think it was either a 100K guarantee or a 50K guarantee. I can't remember, but it was like a pretty good value. Yeah. So I came in at late reg with a $100 buy-in plus a $100 add-on. And I ended up taking, it was a 2-day tournament, and I took second for $12,000.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And this was like, that was only like my 15th live tournament. And so at this point I had played 15 live tournaments, and I final tabled or won 3 of them. And like I didn't ever min cash yet. I had only either busted or final tabled. It was the only 2 extremes I do. So then the very next week was the WSOP. I got introduced to all the ACR pros through Katie Lindsey. I subbed in for Ebony Kenny because her leg got twisted in a dance thing that she did. So they were doing this thing called Punter Olympics at Punter's Pad, and she needed like a fill-in. So we became Nick Ebony, and I was like, anytime there was a physical activity, like I subbed in for her, and then she swap out with the other stuff that was like upper body. And our team won. Yeah, spoilers, but you can go watch it on ACR's YouTube channel. And then it was WSOP, and it felt nice to know people going into WSOP. The tournament community is so much more social than the cash games community, so that was really fun.
Sure. They're all commiserating with one another.
Yeah, exactly. Just like everyone's depressed, but
you
like
down bad? Yeah, I'm down bad.
Yeah.
He's down bad too. Let's hang out with him.
Yeah, okay, great, cool. How much of yourself do you have? There's lots of conversations like that. So I played the housewarming. I was just gonna play every tournament that was under $1,000 buy-in.
You and the tortoise, man. You guys are just gonna be like
That's right.
arm in arm this summer.
Yeah,
See?
we'll see you
You
there.
get
yeah.
it.
It's right.
So we played the
Final table something
housewarming.
together.
Yeah, there you go. And I busted, but it was exhilarating. I was like, this is such a big feel. This is so cool. I can't believe I get to play. Like, I get to sit down and kind of know what I'm doing because I studied MTT and I didn't think I was going to be ready, but now I have like a bankroll for it. That's cool. And then the next event I played was the $600 deep stack. Late reg came in at like 40 big blinds, maybe a little less than 40 big blinds. And that was $600, only one bullet. And I ended up final tabling that and getting fourth for $116,000. So
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my 20th live tournament.
Jesus. That'll give you the tournament bug real
I was
quick.
like,
yeah.
why did I ever play cash?
Yeah.
Also, I attribute Commerce low 40 big blind buy-ins. I like to buy into tournaments at 40 big blinds.
Sure.
Feel very confident at that stack depth. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. Jesse had this conversation with me after I won, and he was like, hey, you know, like, don't let your ego get ahead of you. Like, don't start like buying in all crazy and blah, blah, blah. I was like, Jesse, I am the opposite. I have imposter syndrome like crazy. I never thought I was going to go this far. I thought I was going to like do a cute little min cash, get to post an Instagram story like, yay, min cash my first WSOP, and like, you know, been like a cute little tourist in this world. And now I don't know what to do. Like, I don't even know how to play the beginning of a tournament anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. And I just like, it was like, help. And then I was like, okay, we're just going to have fun. We're just going to have fun and play cash games after. Like, that was the game plan all along. I think I did an Instagram story at the beginning of that $600 buy-in that was like, okay, I'm lighting $600 on fire and then I'm going to go play cash games. And then it just kept going.
Wow.
But after that,
You did light it on fire, but then you lit it on fire to $112,000.
There's the stories. Yeah, that was.
There's an ace. I see an ace.
I had a really good run.
Feels good.
Wait,
It's so crazy because we're all so old and jaded and
Yeah.
fixed in this world that we don't remember what it feels like to have that level of
Enthusiasm.
excitement. Yeah, but it's wild.
Yeah.
I ask you about YouTube, which you've been doing for 12 odd years, and you're like, yeah, I mean, I did it. It's a thing, and you know, comedy or podcast or something. I don't know. I'm in the world, and it's like, well, how did you transition to poker? It's like, let me tell you every gory detail over the last 18 months of how I got to right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So welcome to my world. Yeah. YouTubers are the same. Everyone's jaded. Everyone's bitching about the algorithm. Everyone fucking hates it.
Seriously,
And-
fuck the algorithm.
yeah. And then I
Damn
come into this
algorithm.
world, and especially with the poker vlogger community, it's like the baby version of what the YouTube community used to be. It just really reminds me of the early days
Yeah.
when everyone like collaborated and supported each other, and they were like happy when they won things, like so precious, like so wholesome. Protect them.
It's like that part from Billy Madison where he grabs the kid by the cheeks. and
Cherish
goes,
it.
Don't you ever leave.
Yes. I wanted to pitch Andrew Neely and Brad Owen's cheeks like cherish it. Yeah.
Also before your time, Landon, it's okay. We understand.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is a comedian. He used to be on Saturday Night Live, and at one point he made funny movies.
you know my cousin was in a movie with him?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was called Bedtime Stories.
Oh yeah.
Oh
There's
my God, he
there's
God,
pulls
scene.
it
Guapo's
right
just
up.
on it,
Guapo,
man.
you're just right on it. I love it.
That kid's fucking face, man.
You can like hear his
that
cheeks
kid's
going.
face was meant for that
Yeah.
scene.
It's perfect.
It's
Great
incredible.
casting. The casting director should get an award for
gotta
that
Absolutely
particular
remarkable.
scene.
You do.
We actually did a
Absolutely
podcast episode on Adam Sandler.
I watched it.
You did.
I did.
I didn't think it was gonna be good. So we switch off who does the topics for our podcast,
Yeah.
either me or my husband. And every time he picks one, I get scared. I'm like, this is gonna be horrible. This is gonna suck. It's like, oh, we're doing Adam Sandler. I'm like, oh no, how are we gonna talk about Adam Sandler for an hour? And we did. I actually loved it. It was so fun.
You guys glossed over a couple.
Some gems.
Yeah, so some real hidden
Some
gems.
uncut gems.
Correct.
Based.
But I also don't know the time at which it was made, so it's possible that like one of his
Yeah.
newest movies was actually really good after Uncut Gems. I can't remember what it was though.
The murder mystery one.
No, but you guys definitely glossed over that one. Which
I think that was new at the time. That was like the newest
okay.
one.
Yeah. I can't remember what the newest one is now. It's on Netflix. Obviously, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Everything's on Netflix, but
I didn't. When I first met the vlogging community, they were like, "But YouTube." Like I went on Johnny Vibes podcast. Shout out to
Embrace the grind.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here
Alley
for.
oop, thank you. And he was like really into like talking about like YouTube and stuff. I think that there's a lot of the poker community is like, oh yeah, like online poker's dead or whatever. We're gonna start making content, and like they're like, yay! It's like a nice, healthy habit that takes their mind off poker. So for me, poker was like a habit or a hobby that took my mind off of YouTube.
Yeah.
It was like a vice versa thing. So I still very enthusiastic about learning new spots and like working with solvers and learning as much as possible about the game that you guys are all jaded on. But
that's how we feel about
I
like
can
building an
understand.
audience
Yeah.
and finding better ways to engage. And,
yeah, you haven't
oh, no.
gotten whacked by the algorithm enough times yet.
Oh no, we definitely have.
You've been abused.
I mean,
you haven't gotten your channel flagged for selling guns yet.
We haven't had that happen, although I feel like it would kind of bolster our stock at this point.
Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day. I was saying, so we just put out a documentary that we actually made 4 years ago, released 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half.
But it was behind Poker Go paywall. So now it's finally on YouTube for free.
Plug it.
It's to be determined. You can find it on
to be determined
on our YouTube
okay,
page.
well, when you're ready to plug it, you let me know.
Sure. But it just surpassed 100,000 views, and it's going to be on pace to be our most watched video. Right now, it's our second most watched.
Woo!
And I was saying, like, I text the production guys. I go, hey man, great job. Obviously, we all knew this was a hit, but it's our second most watched video now. Just cracked 100,000 views. And then I paused and I go, which is very unimpressive for a 6-year-old channel.
Wait, your channel's 6 years old?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Congrats. It's not unimpressive. It's actually a lot harder to grow. It's harder to make it in poker, right? Because like saturated and people study too much, and like the game's like way more evolved than it was 10 years ago. Same for YouTube. It's like back then people didn't know what they were doing. People were succeeding like because it wasn't saturated. Everyone was collaborating, and like now it's like there's so many people. Like back then it was like, don't tell anyone you're on YouTube, it's going to ruin your career. And now it's like, hey, how many social media followers do you have? Yeah. How big is your following? I mean, my channel has a little over 500,000 subscribers, but that's not even impressive anymore. Like that's like baby numbers, because everyone.
And you're 10x us.
I know we're almost there. We're about what, 600 away from 50,000 subscribers. So go out and subscribe.
So your ratio, like getting 100,000 views on a video
for almost 500 away.
For 50,000 subscribers, getting 100,000 views on a video is huge. That's really impressive. That ratio is really nice. Yeah. Like you, over time, like getting 10% of your following to watch is like pretty good.
Oh, we're doing better than that. Yeah, we average like 20%. Yeah.
I think if you're gonna make it in YouTube right now, if like you're gonna start a channel today, I would highly recommend you go niche. Like people, whenever they're asking, like, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't know what to do. Okay, well, pick something you really love and like that you can talk about forever for like 3 years only, like specifically that, because the way to grow is just being super niche right now and capitalizing on like one group of audience.
Guess I'm starting a barbecue channel.
Okay. Honestly, so there's something for everyone.
There's a lot of them out there. Yeah.
Anytime I want to learn how to do something, I look up.
Same thing. Yes. Right. Yeah.
And then
so I do like a lot of cooking too.
Yeah.
And like if I'm like, I really like want to try to cook this, and then I go straight to YouTube and search for it, and then I find somebody, and then I find somebody else, and I watch like 4 or 5 different videos on how to cook the exact same thing, and then use which techniques I like.
Yeah,
that I
take a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you make it your own. That's how you find your voice too. It's like, and then even if there's 100,000 other cooking channels, no one's going to say it the way that you say it. Right. So you never know what audience is going to be really attracted to you.
And then I follow like, there's probably like 3 or 4 main like barbecue channels that I follow. Yeah. And I follow them all for like different reasons.
Yeah.
Right? So one's like he's like called like the Mad Scientist Barbecue, and he just does like experiments, and like so he takes like 2 different things and like tries like 2 different techniques and see which comes out better. So like I like follow him for one thing and then somebody for something else, and then it's like they all have their own little thing.
Their own little thing. It's like poker vloggers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could have a bunch of them. Everyone's like, oh, there's too many poker vloggers now. I'm like, no, but everyone has a different voice. Like and they have a different way of playing. They have a different style.
Yeah, it's like saying there's too many music artists.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's never going to
like-
be too many. It's only like I think people just like to put limits in their head, and
It just makes it that much more impressive whenever you rise to the top and you're like the top 1% of 1% or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people give themselves reasons to not try or to stop trying.
Yeah. I could see that for sure. I mean, it's not, I think people, us as a species, like humans, they have evolved to really value certainty. Like they really, really get latched onto certainty. So you'll see people, following really traditional routes because they're told like, oh, that's like the most certain, like go to school and then you'll get a degree and then like you're more certain to get a job. But like, it's not really true. Like the job market sucks. People are in tons of student loan debt. Like it's not, like it's not necessarily certain. And you can give yourself the best shot. You can make the most plus EV decisions, but you're never like guaranteed to win the pot.
There's
You're
a
never
lot
guaranteed
of,
to like win it. So might as well go after something you actually love. That's what I try to tell people to do all the time. Like just throw fucking everything you've learned out the window, like on how to construct your life. Focus on like what you like to do, because no matter what, nothing's guaranteed. You're not guaranteed a cool job. You're not guaranteed security. You're not guaranteed money. I mean, in the pandemic, a bunch of people lost their jobs, and those are qualified people that have been working in that field for 20 years, and they still lost their jobs. So you're just never guaranteed anything. And knowing that can be very scary, but it can also be like really
It's kind of freeing
to know that like, hey, nothing's guaranteed. So fuck it. Like just go after what you want. Last year for me was kind of a fun like gap year. We moved to Vegas. It was our first year in
Right,
Vegas.
'cause you're 25.
I'm 25. I was 25 and I was
said
like,
that
the world is my oyster.
When you're
I'm
25,
so
you take a
young.
gap year because life sucks at 25.
No, yeah, some countries take a gap year at 25. Everything goes wrong at 25. All you 25-year-olds out there, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. Your life's going to suck this year, but next year you're going to rebuild and it's going to be better.
That's your year.
And by 27, we've already discussed that 27, you're going to know who you are, and it's going to be great after that. Nothing can go wrong in your life after 27.
Yeah,
It's all
right.
smooth sailing.
Everybody knows this.
Perfect.
all
It's common
downhill.
knowledge.
I have a couple questions with the shit they don't teach you.
Yes, shit they don't
podcast,
tell you.
Or shit they don't
It's
tell
okay.
you.
My
sorry.
husband announces it wrong every
I
time. That's
know.
his intro. The shit that which they do not tell you podcast.
Speaking of your husband, the first question I'll ask is, what's it like working with your significant other? Like, as somebody who
Yeah.
has only hired friends,
Yeah.
I know that there are ups and downs.
Oh yeah. Everyone says don't do it. I love it. I can't imagine it any other way. But he's also my best friend, and we have always worked together. So before we even were dating, we were friends through our sketch group, that channel. We met through YouTube. He was an improv comedian. I did stand up, and then we met through sketch comedy on this channel called Totally Sketch. And we were both in serious relationships at the time. And we're the same type of romantic partner. We're like hella romantic, but our partners weren't. Anyway, we were just in a comedy group together for years, just as friends. Didn't see him as anything else because both in relationships. And then we both got dumped at the same time. And we were commiserating basically on a sketch. And he was like, hey, have you seen Great Gatsby? And I was like, no, I heard it sucks. And he's like, yeah, I heard it sucks too. You want to like go watch it and see how much it sucks together? And I was like, yeah. So,
W Riz, baby.
yeah, that was our first date. And we just hit it off the bat. We missed the movie 3 times, 3 different showings, because we just kept talking at dinner about everything under the sun and just like kept being like, you feel that way too? Oh my God, me too. Oh my God. And we were best friends immediately, and we've never stopped being best friends. I think that if you're able to communicate really well, then even the issues that we've had like working together, we work through them really easily because we just want to understand each other. So when we disagree, we just want to like figure out what each other's trying to say and then like find a middle ground that we can work from. And I think that depending on your relationship dynamic, it's not always like that. So if you have problems with communication in your relationship, I don't recommend starting a business together because it's just going to amplify whatever issues you already have.
Sounds like you wouldn't recommend being in a relationship either.
I wouldn't. Like a lot of our show is just telling people to break up.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
So write in like, hey, they're like this and I'm like this, but I love them. Like, no, break up. Like, it's not gonna work unless you guys can both agree on this part. Then it won't work. But
yeah, especially with like the dynamic of you playing poker was like, he lets you do that. It's like,
yeah,
what
I can't.
What do you mean he
I
lets
get
I would
asked
have
that
broken up with him
question.
if he didn't let me play poker.
I gotta ask that question an absurd amount of times. Like almost every time I go out, like especially if it's after midnight. Like I'm supposed to turn into a pumpkin or something at midnight because all the men are
It's
like
gremlins, you know.
"But
You
you're
gotta put the
married. I see a
gremlin-
wedding ring. Is that real? First of all, is that wedding ring real? That's like another
You
question.
get that
I
question
asked.
a lot,
I do
really.
get that question a lot. Like
Yeah.
I guess maybe there's an influx of women wearing fake
Well, I heard
wedding
it is a
rings.
thing, or like which
It could be.
which it's because there's creepy men out there.
Yeah.
Right.
But knowing that they don't respect it anyway, because like
Right,
sometimes
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yes, it's real. And they're
Well,
like,
the word's
nah.
out now, so they might as well not
No,
do it.
it's
yeah.
not. I'm like,
Like,
yeah,
nah,
I
you're
just
lying.
lie.
It's fake.
Yeah, it's just, what do you want? What answer would you like, sir?
Yeah.
But they're good. Yeah, they're like, your husband lets you stay out this late? Like, he's not going to be mad? I'm like, I can't imagine being
It's
in
like,
a
I don't know what
relationship.
you're talking about. I'm out here getting paper.
Yeah. Like, he's doing crypto right now.
Yeah.
The other question is, like, is he playing too? Where is he playing? And I'm like, no, he doesn't play. And they're like, he plays. He doesn't play. No, he
They're
doesn't.
gaslighting you into something that doesn't exist.
They just have like a story in their head, and then I
Right.
don't confirm it, and they don't want to change their own story. So I just I'm okay. Yeah, you're right. He's
You're
over
right.
there.
He's-
That's him. That one over there.
Man, that would be
Yeah, they
a
built
very
this
good
image in
bit.
their head
Yeah.
of you, and then they don't want to deflect from it. Like,
That'd be a
Yeah.
sick bit, actually. Like, you just find a stranger and say that he's your husband.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like, someone that asks you if that's your husband goes, are you her husband? It's like, what
Well,
are you talking about?
I was playing at Bellagio once, and there was this guy that wouldn't let it go, that my husband had to be playing somewhere. And every time someone I knew would sit down, so I had friends that play cash, and I know people in the room, and when
Sick
they would
flex.
table, I'm flexing super hard.
Yeah, good brag on
Your
friends.
channel's gonna get banned for all this,
I
all these guns
understand.
being
All these
shown.
yeah, that's what
That's
you're
okay.
trying to sell.
Every time a new guy would sit down, I'm like, oh my God, how are you doing? They'd be like, that's your husband. I'm like, yes.
That's
And
right.
then the next one would come and they're like, oh, maybe that's your husband. I'm like,
Yes.
yes, that's my husband.
By the way, I'm Moorman.
Yeah.
In case you were
You
wondering.
got to commit to the bit.
A
You know
lot
that
of
from sketch
husbands.
comedy.
Yes.
You gotta
Just yes and
Yep.
over and over and over again. Whatever they want. If they don't want to hear my story, then they're just stuck on theirs. I just confirm it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They acknowledge your story and then they acknowledge that it's not real
Yeah.
in their mind, right?
I know you had a flush. Yes.
Yeah.
Did.
Yes, and
Yes, I did.
yes, and I also had a boat.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay, cool.
And I had quads.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of hands.
Yeah.
You only get 2 cards in this game.
Yes.
And so what was
We're
the
quicker on here. We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
We're
you're
very
good.
quick.
I like
Super
it.
sharp.
Can't be too serious though.
What was the impetus for the show? Because I have to tell you, granted, I went through the catalog backwards, so I saw more of the recent stuff than anything
You
else.
did a lot of homework.
I did a lot
A
of homework.
scary amount. I
Listen.
didn't do that much on your show.
You didn't need to. You're the guest.
Okay.
You're not here to interview me.
Good.
And then going to be employee. You're
Landon
hired.
hired me today.
Yeah.
By the way, we
Hello.
pay in cookies. His mother bakes
I
them.
did get a cookie.
You know, Landon's mom made
Tortoise
this cookie.
cookies.
Yeah, we also pay in you bringing food for me to eat.
See, she constantly taunts me like Turtles, Mario World. How does she not accept my Mario character names?
You should have went with Koopa.
That's a tortoise, by the
Yeah.
way.
It's a tortoise.
It's not a
It's
turtle.
a tortoise, not a
Wait,
toad.
but
That's a
but
podcast on the road.
In the Mario World, they call them turtles, but they have these long necks.
Koopa.
like
They call them
tortoises.
Koopas.
Koopa Troopas.
Koopa Troopas in the Mario world, right?
But
They also have
but the-
spiky turtles.
Oh yes, they do.
They're
Spiny
definitely not
shells.
tortoises in the Mario world.
No.
They're definitely
No.
turtles.
They're turtles.
Yeah.
I agree
Koopa
with that.
Trooper is a turtle for sure.
You're better at tangenting than I am,
Yeah.
which is quite impressive.
That's why she's hired.
I mean,
Hey,
that's
I
a
did do an
feat
ad for
in and of
ADD.
itself.
If you need some Vivance, you
and
want to.
for cat food.
So this premise behind the shit they don't teach you,
Yeah, sure they don't tell you.
I like teach you better. Maybe you should
fine.
consider a name change.
Well, we're not professionals. We can't teach.
You better
we don't want to get
confirm.
sued.
He did his homework, but not
that's pretty
enough.
sharp.
Nikki,
Yeah.
But you're not implying that you're teaching. You're implying that they didn't teach you,
Yeah, they didn't teach.
which is just a broken
they were
education
supposed
system.
to teach you,
Correct.
and they didn't.
Yes, correct. So I'm, for what it's worth, like I was super excited when you told me the title and
premise.
like the premise behind
Yeah.
it, because for a long time I've been holding on to this idea that I've always wanted to create some sort of like functional learning center.
Yeah.
And my premise behind it was like, okay, you go into these communities and how do you incentivize kids to learn the basic shit that they really need to know?
Yeah, the life skills.
Yeah, like, how to do taxes, how to buy cars, how to finance things, all this stuff, right? It's like, well, you need to incentivize them some way. So my thought was the easiest way to do it is take extracurriculars, give them to them for free in exchange for school hours. So you create like this community center where everything's under one umbrella.
Where people actually want to learn.
Yeah. And,
wouldn't that be nice?
It's a little bit of forced learning because you don't get to play baseball, or maybe you have to pay to play baseball.
Yeah.
If you don't want to take the educational hours or whatever. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I got super excited because it was like, this is way better because it's a podcast and it scales. Like you could reach millions of people instead of, one little tiny community. But then I watched, and it's just all
fucking around,
telling people to break up and like that they're terrible in their relationship.
So it started in 2018, and that was the premise. We did do those topics to start. It was like, okay, there's a couple like life categories. There's relationships, there's money, there's finance, there's social aspects like friends and stuff like that. There's different like market stuff like taxes and housing, like how to buy a house, all that stuff. So we hit all of those topics within like the first year. And then it was like, okay, what's some more shit they don't tell you? We thought it was like going to be a little bit more
right. You ran out of stuff for them not to tell you.
But we kind of went over like a lot of the stuff that they didn't tell you. And then we realized that people kept wanting to know more about, they wanted relationship advice, and they loved that we did Ask Us Anything segments that were just kind of like, not filler episodes, but just like, what do you want to hear? What's some shit that they didn't teach you that you want to be taught?
So filler adjacent.
Filler adjacent, but like more personal. Like, give us your questions. You can ask us anything, and we will answer based off of our life experience. And it was 90% relationship questions. And because we're in a relationship, it was pretty easy to answer, especially coming from like a lot of the issues people were having. We had been through those issues. We definitely would have loved advice on how to get through those issues when we were going through them. So it was super natural and easy to answer as a couple. We also have different perspectives and different ways of going about things, he could relate more to some issues than I could. And so it was easy. And then our Ask Us Anythings kind of became more relationship questions. And we thought eventually people would stop asking relationship questions. And every Ask Us Anything, we're like, you guys can ask us anything about any topic. And they just kept asking relationship stuff. So how
do people have so many questions about relationships?
Relationships are hard. They're very complicated, and nobody likes to talk about it. And I think I've come to the conclusion that people weren't shown healthy models as a kid, because their parents weren't shown healthy models when they were young, and everyone's generation after generation not being shown healthy relationships or healthy examples of relationships. And it makes a lot of sense why you would just copy what you know and think that that's correct, and then not really be open to like whether or not that's
right, because the things that you saw are what they are, and that's how it is,
but
it's not how it has to be.
Exactly. And I think that our relationship is the first super healthy relationship I've ever experienced, and if I could help more people get to that point, I think the world would be a lot better. Not only domestically, but if you can learn how to communicate well with your significant other, which is like the one you're going to have the most disagreements with and the most opportunities to resolve things.
Time of being around them to have something go wrong or have something to talk about.
Then you imagine the communication skills that could happen in like their normal world and their business life.
It's transferable.
Exactly. And I think that if more people could communicate, we wouldn't be so polarized as a country, as a society. Maybe it would just help the world as a whole. So maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why we continue to exist as a podcast.
It probably has, right? When it comes to stories that you don't know, or people that may have or have not reached out, that's something that they've heard from something that you've said has helped them fix the situation in their lives from a communication standpoint. That's what makes it all worth it.
I actually really love, we'll get follow-up emails sometimes of people that are like, I wrote to you guys 2 years ago and you guys changed my whole life. Like, this is what happened. I broke up with my boyfriend. I started working on something. I started working on my passion and now I'm like a professional chef or whatever. It's like, damn, that's awesome to hear, because you don't know. You're just kind of speaking words out into the ether.
Right. You don't really know like the impact.
You don't see the person. No. Yeah. You don't get to follow their daily life. So yeah, you just spew out words, and it really makes you realize like how the effect your words have, for better or for worse too. So, you know, we try to like really put out good shit into the world to like hopefully make it better. I hope we don't make it worse, but whatever. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance.
I'm sorry, universe.
If I made a corner of the universe worse.
There's just one person that listened to something and feels like their entire life went wrong because of you.
Yeah. Like, hey, here's a follow-up, assholes.
Yeah, you told me to break up with her and I did. And now I'm sad. That's on you.
That was the love of my life.
Yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, well, it sounds like you guys could have worked it out.
We give disclaimers for the episodes.
You could just hit them with, if it was meant to be, let them go. If they come back to you, you know
some
what I mean? Like,
shit.
There's some sort of like trite.
Maybe they were right girl, wrong time. You ever think about that?
Right.
Now you're a better person. Be the partner you want to attract.
Yeah.
Bye, friend.
All right. Before this devolves into some sort of astrology talk, because I know that that's the next place this is headed. What's next on your plate?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm continuing to waltz through life. I love this community and this new direction that things have been taking me, but I continuously I don't feel in charge of life. I used to be a very like goal oriented, we have to hit these results type of person, and like bullet points, and we're gonna build this business and this is how it's gonna go. And I was very sad. Too good for the game. You're never you're never better than the game. The game's gonna do what the game's gonna do, and that's kind of how I approach life. And so for whatever reason, my plans were to come to Vegas and to do the podcast and to be a YouTuber and work on that. And I got pulled way more into poker, and I love it here. And I was watching the Victoria episode, Victoria Lifshitz.
Yep.
Yeah. And even though I'm not in tech, there was something she said in that episode that I really resonate with, which was that she puts way too much time into her hobbies. Like, she gets addicted to her hobbies, and then she eventually wants to start businesses in those hobbies.
Yeah.
I highly relate to that. But I didn't come from the same industry as her. I came from the entertainment industry. So it would make sense that being obsessed with poker, inevitably, there's going to be some sort of poker content, either a podcast or people have asked to do.
You're here now.
I'm here.
We've claimed you as our own.
Apparently, I've been claimed.
Yeah.
Ugh, sounds dirty.
You've been accepted.
Am I gonna get an STD?
No, it's up to you to decide if you want us to come back or not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a free choice.
Here to my podcast.
Yes.
He's your captor, but he's making it believe that it's your choice.
No. This is a choice.
Welcome to the Only Friends podcast, where Nikki Limo, I'm your host.
Yep.
And Landon has been invited to come back to the show.
If you want to take over the hosting duties, by all means.
Yeah?
Like, this seat is yours.
You guys burnt out already?
No. I love it, but it's a passion project that gives me a headache on the daily.
See, I want to learn more about you guys, like coming into the space. I think that's so fun.
We'll switch roles next time.
Yeah, I'll interview you.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Immediately when I came here, I was like, so how did you guys meet? How did that happen? You met on the internet? That's weird. Okay. So I basically answered a Craigslist. Yeah, Matt Berkey is like 20 years older than Landon. It's like 50 years older than Landon.
That's right.
And
doesn't always have to be like this, Nikki.
It does.
Doesn't always have to be like this.
First thing Matt said to me was like, hey, I realized you're closer to my age than Landon's. I'm like, I would never be that age. What?
That's when life
How
dies.
dare you? Either of you. I like being in the middle here.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Oh, man.
Rude.
All right, let's get out of here. I appreciate you stopping by. This was fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, greatly enjoyed it. Just a reminder to everybody, we are still running the Academy April 15th to the 19th. There are a few seats available for that. That'll be our final Poker Out Loud Academy for the year. So if you're interested in coming, speaking your thoughts and strategies out in real time for us to kind of grade and give you that video to take home and study further, be sure to join up. You can head over to academy.solveforwhy.io to lock up your seat now. I believe there's 5 remaining, maybe only 4 at this point. We also have the MTT Academy May 22nd 27th.
24th
to the 27th.
Okay, 24th to the 27th. I'm getting there. That'll be a 4-day academy as well. Each day will represent a different stage of the MTT. The final day will culminate in everybody playing a final table where you guys will run through ICM spots. Matt Hunt will be leading that one, our resident MTT guru, and hitting our Brit quota, which is oh so important. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Tomorrow we're joined, as always, every Tuesday by the No Gamble No Future guys, Brent Hanks and Jeff Platt. We'll be talking GPI awards as well as Tinder Tuesdays with Jeff. So we'll see who he's swiping on. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back at 11 a.m. tomorrow. See you then.
And then they can talk to Nikki about relationships.
Yeah.